All right, welcome everybody to the HPL College Football Season 4 schedule release party. We got a few other head coaches in here. Myself, Soaps, and the head coach of Georgia. We've got the head coach of USC and Always Joker, the head coach of Florida and Pablo, the head coach of Mississippi State with Hill State, the head coach of Ole Miss with Jackson, and the head coach of Ohio State with Captain Dead Dad. We're going to start off today with Alabama, and we're going to kind of break it down. Captain, Joker, and Hail State are really going to be breaking down the Big Ten and ACC schedules, while myself, Pablo, and Jackson will be breaking down the SEC and Big 12 schedules. I don't know if I mixed that up maybe. But so I'm going to head this over to Pablo here. We start off with Alabama. He gets 4 non-conference user games that he indeed requested some of these here. And, you know, when you look at the SEC schedule, too, you got your 8 games. He plays 5 users here. So 9 users in total with 3 AI games. And, I mean, these are some tough SEC opponents and some tough non-conference opponents. So, Pablo, just kind of break down the schedule here. What does Alabama need to do to, I mean, maybe make a bowl game this season? I guess when you're looking at this schedule, you know, let's be realistic here. I think that's the first goal you want to try to cross off, right?
Yeah, I think when you look at the schedule, if you're Alexis Radia Jr., head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, your goal is to make a bowl game. It's going to be tough to do anything more than that. There's a lot of users that non-conference. There's a chance you're looking at 0-4 after non-conference, and it's just a gauntlet, to be honest. I mean, it's going to be tough for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. And, you know, like last season, we're going to give all 6 other head coaches and admins in this party a chance to give their picks for the season of, you know, what this team might go. So we're going to start off with Alabama. And the first prediction that I want to hear is going to be from Jackson Altman, head coach of Ole Miss. What do you see Alabama going here this season?
I got to go on 4-8. I think he beats USC in the 3 CPU teams. I don't think he wins another game.
All right. Well, that's 4-8 season. No, not a bowl game here. No bowl game appearance from Altman. So we're going to move on to Ohio State. Captain Dead Dad, what's your prediction here in a 12-game season for Alabama?
Cannot hear you on the stream, Captain.
Okay, well, what's your prediction here? 5-7 from Captain Dead Dad. All right, we're gonna move on to Joker here. Joker, 12-game season for your boy here. What's he going?
I think I'll go with the 4-8. I don't think. Okay. I think the win against. I think he wins against Kansas. I think he loses every other game and then wins the CPU game. So 4-8.
4-8. Well, we're gonna go to Hail State here. What you got, Alabama going here?
Yeah, man, I really like Heredia too, but the schedule's not very, very favorable for him, especially the SEC portion, ending back-to-back road trips to Mississippi and then Mississippi State. I'll go with the crowd, 4-8. I think he gets a non-conference win he beats one of USF, Kansas, or USC, and then beats all the CPU games, but then loses the rest. So 4-8.
4-8. All right, Pablo.
I think I'm gonna jump on the train. I'm gonna go 4-8. I see a tough schedule, and he can find a way to win one user game. I like you, Heredia.
Yeah.
You got a gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a gauntlet here, and I mean, I'm going to leave this last pick to myself, I guess. And
You said 4-8?
Yeah, Pablo said 4-8. You know, I really hate to say this, but I really see maybe 2 wins on this schedule. So I'm going to say 2-10. And, you know, maybe that adds some fuel to the fire to help him maybe get some more wins. But
Wow.
I see a win here at Kentucky, a win here at Arkansas. You're not winning your non-conference rival, or you're not winning your Iron Bowl game against Auburn. It's just a rivalry game. I don't think you got what it takes. And you just look at the user schedule, and I mean, it's really tough. So 2-10 for me. We're gonna move on now to Boise State, which is Red Flags Matter, and he's got a few conference games here, just 3 the game gave him, but we stacked them up with 4 non-conference games, and we look at this schedule here. I think he could easily approach the Big 12 championship again, just trying to find his wins in these non-conference games, which I believe these are all people he knows and are friends with, so maybe those will be interesting games to watch. Maybe we'll catch one of these on the game of the week. But I'll give this to Jackson here. And what are your expectations for Boise State when you look at the schedule?
Yeah, I think he's got a couple difficult games on the schedule. I haven't seen the Wisconsin user play. I haven't seen the TCU user play, but Boise State has made the playoffs each season, so I think he'll continue that. I think he's a good player and probably end up 10-2.
Yeah, I mean, I think a 10-2 season here would be appropriate for me too, so you could write that in as my pick as well. So we'll go to Hail State next. When you look at this Boise State 12-game schedule, Hail State, how many wins do you see here?
I think the non-conference schedule for Boise State's pretty tough this year. I don't really know a lot about TCU or Wisconsin, or Nebraska I know some about. He's pretty good. I'm gonna go 10-2. I was hovering around 9-3, 10-2, but I think he does beat Texas A&M because he's got him at home. So I'll go 10-2.
10-2, yeah. I mean that's 3 people already with 10-2. Joker, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like 10-2 is a respectable option here. I don't want to be different, but I think 10-2. I think the 2 losses are Kansas State, and then I think he loses to TCU, or not TCU. I'm sorry, Texas A&M in Week 4.
All right. Oh, whoa. Did we lose Captain Dead Dad?
No, I'm still here.
All right. What do you see here with this Boise State team?
I mean, it's easy to hop onto the 10-2 bandwagon, but honestly, I'd say more 9-3. Nebraska, I faced him last season. It was a rain game, so I didn't really get to see much, but there's a good chance he's going to lose that. Texas A&M, I mean, you're going up against number 5 in the nation. I think that's kind of set in stone. You're going to lose that one. And honestly, he's probably I'd say he probably loses to Kansas before Kansas State, but
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with you there. I mean, I'm not, saying the Kansas State head coach is any kind of slouch, but I'm high on Kansas in this upcoming season. But we'll get to that. So I agree with you. 9-3. You're gonna lock that in? All right. So we'll leave it up to Pablo, I think, which is our last guy to get in the Boise State prediction.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this one because I see here the Texas A&M, go down for me, down to the bottom. The Texas A&M, Oklahoma, the Kansas State, and the Kansas game. I think he goes 2-2 in those and goes 10-2. But there's a way where he could see 9-3, maybe even 8-4. But I think he's got 10-2.
You said 10-2?
Yeah, 10-2.
All right, so we'll lock in 10-2. We got 5 10-2 picks, 1 9-3 pick, so pretty high on Boise State. I think it's a consensus though. He definitely goes back to the playoffs, probably back to the Big 12 championship as well. So we're gonna toss this on over to my good pal Joker, and if you want to take over Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson. I believe he made the ACC championship game. Am I right?
You're right.
I think he played
He did.
Miami, yeah, and I believe he
Pretty good
lost by
game.
only a touchdown. So
That was a good game.
yeah, I feel like Bales, he really wanted to embrace the NASCAR Cup Series. We'll see if he changes his names on his roster. But if you look at the schedule, I mean, Washington, a rematch between Bales and Speed. If you've been in HPL, you've kind of known how they played. The first time, I believe Bales was down 28 and came back to beat Speed. So gets Speed, gets Brink, gets KU, and then in his conference games. Kind of has a tough 3-game user stretch for Miami, Florida State, and Louisville, who will probably be the favorites to win the ACC. So, I mean, after looking at all of this, I think 9-3 or 8-4 is a good realistic option. I just think the 3 games against the Miami, Florida State, Louisville will be the death of him to make the ACC championship. Hail State?
Yeah, I'm actually going to go 10-2 here. I think I think he goes 2-3 between that stretch of Miami, FSU, and Louisville. And then I think he loses to Kansas or Washington out of the conference. But 10-2, I mean, look at the defense. A 90 overall defense. He definitely has the talent to do it. So, yeah, give me 10-2 for the Clemson Tigers this year and a return to the ACC championship game.
Okay, and I believe Dead Dad. What do we see?
I mean, I think we easily see another return to the ACC championship game, like everybody's been saying, but it's going to look a little bit brutal week 5 to 7, like has also been said. Honestly, seeing the return to the Washington-Clemson game, what we had in that first season, that was pretty chaotic. I mean, I think any team could come out on top there. He managed to score, Speed managed to score pretty well against me, even in that loss, but both of these guys are going to be high-firing offenses. I'd say 10-2, maybe 9-3.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll go with, to lock in my answer, I think Jackson's stating this. I'll go 9-3. I think he beats Florida State, and then I think his losses are Kansas, Miami, and Louisville. Jackson, what are we saying?
I'm gonna have to go 6-6 here. I think we see a loss: Washington, Kansas, Miami, Florida State, Louisville. He struggled in a CPU game against Wake Forest last year and lost. So, yeah, I'm gonna go 6-6.
Mason?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna, maybe add one more to that, maybe a 7-5 season. But the thing is about a 7-5 season is you're gonna be surprised with what happens in the ACC. I mean, we saw last season the downfall of Louisville, really a huge fall in Florida State as well with a 9-4 season. Louisville 9-4. Sauce has been there 11-4, but his non-conference was rough. I mean, he cleans up his CPU game, so he'll be there. But just, I see 7-5, picking up a loss against Washington, picking up a loss at Kansas, picking up a loss at Miami, Louisville, and he'll drop a CPU game somewhere in here.
And I believe Pablo last.
Okay. I'm going to go 8-4. I think he wins the first 2, drops Kansas, Miami, and Louisville, and then a CPU.
Okay. Well, that is Clemson. Let's see what the next team is. Florida, and then we'll switch it back to Pablo. I think Pablo should break down his schedule.
Okay, we're starting off with a week 0 matchup against Charlotte. Same matchup we had last year. It actually ended up being a little tougher for us than we expected, but oh well. We move on to Miami. It's a tough out-of-conference game. And then Nebraska, we go to the conference schedule, and it's not the most difficult ACC schedule. I'll say that. So the goal is ACC championship, and I'm going to predict 11-1 for myself.
That's a good prediction. Yeah, I mean, just to kind of cue in here, I think I would have to agree. 11-1. You're looking good all throughout here, and you just have a tough game week 10. Hail State.
Bye week. I do have a middle of the SEC schedule.
42-0.
42-0. Yeah,
I couldn't even forget that incident.
42-0.
42, yeah. I'm gonna go 10-2 just to be different because I'm sick and tired of hearing everybody say the same number. So I'm gonna go 10-2. I'm gonna say he loses to Georgia and Miami just for this hypothetical, but I do think that this is I think Joker's got them in his no excuses club this year. They were able to pull in one of the best transfer classes in the country on top of an already stacked team with a freshman standout Michael Aker going up a lot in overall. So I'm gonna go 10-2. I'll probably be proven wrong, and he'll go 11-1. But I just want to be different. So 10-2.
Joker.
Yes, this I can confirm. This is the No Excuses Club. If you want to look at their roster, they did bring in Nick Harbor and Jeremiah Smith from the transfer portal. So this is the No Excuses Club. And if you just go scroll down again, I'm gonna go. I guess I feel like the only kind of tough game here is at Georgia, and I think I see probably 11-1 as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, and
What's
Jackson.
unfortunate about that?
I just think this is kind of on the cupcake side, like we made a birthday cake. And
I do want to real quickly correct Joker. That game, while it says it's at Georgia, is actually played in Jacksonville. So that's
Thank
an
you,
insight.
thank you for that
It's not on
correction.
the
That's
road.
what I was gonna say. We just have very, we're just gonna with Jackson.
I'm going 12-0. I don't see him losing.
12-0. Wow, that's your okay. No excuses.
I mean, that's if you're gonna pick a team to go 12-0 this year.
This is probably
based
the
off
team.
of talent, Florida's probably one of the teams that could do it realistically.
Joker, am I like the head of the No Excuses Club? Is that what you're saying?
100%.
I don't think he's the head. I think there's
I
one more
would
team
say
that we'll
Mason's the head.
I don't think he's the head. I think we'll get to one more team later on down the line that's for me is the head.
You're right.
Of the,
You're right.
the
But
club.
the expectations that Florida has set
But
themselves up
Florida is
with.
definitely the vice president this year of the No Excuses Club.
Okay, so Captain Dead Dad, you're our last pick here for Florida.
I mean, I'm thinking 10-2.
Yeah.
Those first three conference games, I mean, those are all just gimmies. You can't put Oklahoma, Missouri, Alabama.
You hear that,
and
G?
back
Steezy's
to
a
back to
gimme?
back.
You hear that, G? You hear
Those
that,
are
Hunter?
gimmies.
Hunter,
Those
if you
are
can hear
games
me.
that-
No,
yeah, it's just
I've never
a
played
blowout.
Steezy, but Shake is no gimme.
Yeah, I mean that's disrespectful.
I'm just saying it. It's a gimme,
Okay.
and I think
Okay.
it's 11-1. That loss is probably going to come at Georgia.
Okay, so 11-1. We got some 10-2s, and we got a 12-0 in there. So we're gonna move on to Florida State. Captain, we'll let you take this one.
All right. I mean, looking at Florida State, I haven't really paid attention.
It's Mickey.
Too much over the season. I mean, yeah, that's the easiest word to describe it with. It's just Mickey. He got probably one of the easiest conference draws. There is one slightly easier conference draw we're going to see coming up later in the Big Ten, but
Slightly.
slightly is, yeah, I don't know, man. But
Slightly.
just not enough users, honestly. I mean, Florida State
He's got
needed
6.
something to prove this season. I mean, yeah, he's got 6, but Purdue.
Kind of a rough season compared to last.
He might
I
drop
mean,
that
yeah.
game, low-key.
Honestly, yeah, I think he might drop that game at Purdue, and I think we're gonna look and see another 8-4 season, 7-5 if things really go bad.
Well, what would you lock in?
I would say 7-5.
7-5.
It slips back a bit. Hell's Bay?
I'm going 6-6. Barely making a bowl game. I'm sure that the Florida State Seminoles will enjoy their trip to the lovely city of Birmingham, Alabama, to play in the Birmingham Bowl. But I'm really not. I wasn't that impressed with Dirt towards the end of the year last year, getting blown out at Florida when we seen what Florida became this at the end of last year. I don't think he can hang with the top dogs. And if what I'm being told is true about USF and TCU, I don't see him. I even think, give me Charlotte to beat him week 4. I just think 6-6 with Mississippi State's IRL quarterback Luke Cromanhook at the helm. So we love you, Luke, over here in Starkville. Thank you for coming. But the virtual version, I just don't think it's going to have a good season.
So you got him losing TCU, USF, and Charlotte. Are you predicting an 0-4 with a drop against the AI Purdue?
I'm predicting 1-3. I think he wins one of those games, but loses the other 3.
If you had to pick one to absolutely win with one.
If I had to pick one, I'm going to go Purdue just because it's a CPU, but...
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to agree with you, Harry. Hell State. I mean, we got a 7-5, we got a 6-6. I'm saying 6-6. He loses every single user game.
Yeah. He definitely drops Clemson, Louisville, and Florida, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's dropping Charlotte.
interesting.
USF. I don't. He's a Madden guy, so he's probably cooking them up. We don't know who TCU is, but he's probably better than Dirt.
Joker.
I know. Maybe I was just a little bit opportunistic, but I see 8-4 and possibly an ACC championship appearance. I mean, the only kind of tough game for him is DJ, and later on in the season.
Clemson's not a tough game.
I mean, it
Florida?
depends on what. It depends on
Oh,
what type
in the
of.
ACC, never mind.
If it depends on what type of R bills we're gonna get. It could be like we said before, Kyle Larson or Corey LaJoy, and I think he gets throttled by USF, and I think he tries to play some antics and probably gets a penalty in that USF game. 8-4.
Oh yeah.
Pablo?
Pablo.
I think. Okay, the user schedule. I think he may get week 1. I mean week 0. Week 1's gonna be a tough one. Week 2, he should win that. I'm gonna go 7-5. I think he drops USF, Charlotte, Clemson, Louisville, and then me.
All right. Jackson.
I'm going. I think we're gonna see a dirt revenge tour. I got him going 10-2. I think we see a
Okay.
loss to Louisville and Florida. Makes the playoffs this season.
He did make the playoffs before, right? Or no, he
Yeah.
never has.
He
He
was
did.
playing me
He
for a
made
win
one.
and get in.
Yeah, he's been
Situation
very
last year.
close before. This he kind of had a down season. I mean, I guess to his standards last year. So I could see that, but I don't know. I don't think he's committed.
I think his ceiling's high, but his floor's low. Type of deal
Yeah.
here.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean-
high ceiling, low floor. Just we're gonna move on here.
Yeah.
President.
Okay.
Oh,
Those are
here we go.
operations. Yeah,
Here we
Joker,
go.
you can take this one. Actually, we'll make it acceptable.
This, in my opinion, is the head of the no excuses table. 93 overall, Georgia. There are no more excuses. When will the excuses stop? But I mean, he gets put to the test with 3 tough users.
This
He
guy
lost
knocked
to
me out
Ohio
of the playoffs
State.
last season.
Yeah.
Playing week 0. This should be game of the week in my opinion. I mean, this is a tough game. This is what I
Charlotte's
want
better
right
than
here.
that.
I mean, just bye
yeah, I
week,
mean,
week
then-
2.
Yeah, and then DJ. I think DJ might get throttled. based
I mean,
on the
I'm
last
playing
time they
2
played.
former national champions. 3 actually. Wait, no, I'm not. 2. I'm playing 2 of the former natties. Right here, back to back in Sanford. It'll be good.
Yeah. The best defense of the game, 94 overall. Then a Missouri game, that could be a trap game. Then the Florida game. I feel like the Florida
Trap
game.
at home.
I mean, yeah, I feel like everyone thinks you might win that, but I think Shake will be coming with some vengeance. And I could see a win, possibly.
What's your prediction?
I think this is a 10-2. Okay, let me rephrase it. A motivated head coach of Mason Pope. This is probably 11-1. A little trolly, a little going all over the place, a little armor reforger, a little NASCAR heat five. This is probably 10-2 or 9. A little
Well,
9 and
lock it in.
10-2. We'll go 10-2. We'll go 10-2. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, no, I'll go. I agree with Joker. I locked in Mason. Goes 10-2 or 11-1. I think we're gonna get a halfway locked in Mason. I think he's gonna go. I think he's actually gonna go 10-2 with drop Oregon and Florida.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go next. Like we've said before, there's been issues with the commitment of the Georgia Bulldogs, especially towards the end of last year, dropping games to Florida, the big 42-0 and 42-0, and lost to Mississippi State, and then his eventual bow out of the playoffs to Ohio State. First 2 weeks are going to be real telling to see. Well, first 2 games are going to be real telling to see what kind of Georgia we're going to get. Honestly, yeah, I'm not going to be that different. Well, give me 9-3 losses to Oregon, Florida, and at A&M.
I'll go next. I think Mason's gonna have a. He's been looking up some playbooks, I'm sure, over the offseason. I think he's gonna come out firing, and I got him going 11-1 with the loss to Florida.
Okay,
Is
I
anyone
mean,
not going? Oh, there it is.
I haven't. Yeah, I mean, we're starting out with the playoff rematch where Georgia came up to the Horseshoe and got shut down for 12 points, probably one of the most potent offenses. He's really got no excuses this season, but honestly, those first 2 user games, the guy that knocked him out and one of the champions, it's already we're seeing 10-2, and I don't know how good Louisville's going to be. I'd say 9-3 at worst, Ohio State, Oregon, and Florida as the losses, but if we get motivated, we'll probably see him sweep out the SEC and probably end up beating myself, if I'm being honest. But I think that Oregon game's going to be that's a loss.
So what are you saying, 10-2?
10-2.
All right.
Yeah, I'll just I'll probably agree with everybody else, and I'll say 11-1. My loss will probably be at the Shoe. And everybody wrote me off as a loss to this game, which I expected. But if you think I'm going to lose 42-0 and not be motivated the next time we come out, it'll be different. That'll be a fun game. So, yeah, 11-1.
42-0.
That's terrible.
Oh, man.
We're
I'm
gonna hand this over to
I'm
Jackson.
sure the Georgia fans are real tired of whole off season of 42-0 trash talk. from
Yeah,
Florida
we
Gators
are.
fans.
So we'll just go over to Jackson for Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas starting off the season with 4 user teams. I don't think it looks too difficult. He got a win against Mississippi State last season, and obviously at the end of last season, huge upset against Kansas State, but struggled against the CPU a little bit. So, I think he's got a shot to go 4-0 in the first 4, but probably 3-1, and then losses to Kansas State and Boise State. So, I'm actually gonna go 8-4 with the loss to one of the AIs.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go next. Yeah, I played him last year on the road, and everyone kind of wrote it off as a terrible loss for me, and didn't really give him credit for his skill. And he showed out the rest of the year and almost made the playoffs, beating Kansas State, big in-state rival. The Jayhawks own the state of Kansas, and honestly, I don't think that changes this year. We'll get to Kansas State here next, but I don't really have high expectations for the Wildcats losing Avery Johnson. So I think he goes 10-2. He drops Boise State, and then he drops either one of me, Mississippi State, Bama, or Michigan. He loses one of those games. But yeah, 10-2 for the Jayhawks this year with a trip to the Big 12 title game.
Oh. Is that not crazy for anyone else?
I mean, I was thinking along the lines, but I'm gonna one up you there, Ohio State. I don't think he drops the game at home, last game of the season to Boise State because of the complications that'll be on the line for the Big 12 championship. I think that'll be a really big moment. And I think Kansas State at home, they're gonna be there. And I see him winning this game. Like I said, Avery Johnson leaving. I'm not high on Kansas State. And we look back down here. I think his only loss actually comes at Davis Wade Stadium. So I've got an 11-1 Kansas Jayhawks breezing into the Big 12 championship and into the playoffs this upcoming season. He's also committed, I think, this season. I think we're going to see a brand new level of commitment from the
We are.
Jayhawks coach,
Yeah, we
so-
are. And he does have some good talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Joker.
I see 9-3. I think the losses at Mississippi State. I just don't think. I think Hail State takes this 3 next time, like he should have.
Okay. Yeah.
I think 9-3. I think the Mississippi State, Kansas State, and then Boise State. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be enough to make the title game. But I think 9-3 is still a good season. That's a bowl game. That's probably flirting around the playoffs like
Yeah,
it was
but-
this year. And
Yeah, Kansas was flirting around last year with the playoff line. I think their fans don't want to see them out of it again this year.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
just going to
Yeah,
come
go
right
Cat.
out the gate. I'm going to say Kansas easily going to get 11-1. We're starting out with what is practically a cakewalk of a regular non-conference schedule. Michigan, Alabama, those are 2 teams that like just barely snuck into bowl games, barely getting past that 6-6 mark, that little Mendoza line. I mean, that's 2 easy wins right there. Our Bales really depends on which version we get. Like it was said earlier, are we getting Kyle Larson? Or are we getting Corey LaJoy? It really depends on how our Bales comes out fire. And I think in terms of his only loss for this season, probably is going to come against Mississippi State. I don't know if we've been following Kansas State quarterback situation, but Kansas State don't have nobody at quarterback, even on the road, even with that stadium pulse. It's probably not going to be enough to overcome not having a quarterback there. So I'm saying 11-1. I'm saying he makes the Big 12. He wins that, and maybe he sneaks out a win in the first round.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to interject here, but I just wanted to let everybody here know that Ty Racing said that he lost in the YouTube chat right here. He's live here with us. He wants to say that he lost by 1 to Kansas last season, so don't write him off.
Yeah, well,
that game, I believe, was 10-9.
10-9, real showing of in the big house, which I'm sure the Michigan fans are accustomed to seeing defensive showdowns in the big house.
What other picks we got left, Jackson?
Pablo.
Just Pablo.
Yeah.
Pablo, what you got here?
I got 9-3.
9-3.
I got him dropping 3 of Mississippi State, Clemson, Kansas State, and his last one, Boise State.
All right. Well, we're not even a quarter of a way done, so we got to pick up the pace here. Kansas State, and this is tough. 82
Here we go.
overall offense. I mean,
What
you
we
got a tough conference schedule. 8-4.
Oh my!
Ooh,
You're losing here
Well, I'm
to
sure that
Kansas.
this is
You're
going
losing
to-
Boise State. I think we have a loss at Ole Miss, and he's losing one of these 3. So that's
Oh,
8-4.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no more Mickey allegations for him. Like this is, if you've always said you're one of the best users. No matter what, you just lost your best quarterback, and you actually have a tough schedule for once. So
Yeah.
prove it. And I don't think he can. I think he goes 8-4. That's no disrespect because I love the Kansas State head coach, but I think he's a Madden guy. Pablo.
This is a tough schedule. The Ole Miss game, I think that's a loss with a freshman, I think, quarterback going into the vault against the number 1 team in the country. That might not go too well for Kansas State. And then I think he loses 2 more. I think he goes 9-3, and I think he is going to be really unhappy. So 9-3 is my pick.
Mason? Did Mason go? Jackson.
I think I'm gonna go 6-6 here. 8 user
Oh.
games.
Dude, I'm
I
ready for
only see
late
him winning
reaction
2
to
of them.
this.
I'm not sure which ones, but I can only see him winning 2 of them with this quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the Kansas State faithful are gonna love to hear that. They are a very passionate fan base,
This is the king.
very vocal through their online intentions, even the head coach himself. I'll go next. I'm sure this is going to be clipped and replayed if all of our predictions are wrong here, but he starts 1-3, and then going down 7-5, maybe 6-6 if you maybe 6-6 if South Florida's as good as advertised. I think we hear a lot of the excuses. You know, we talk about the no excuses club. I think the excuse this year for Electric is the quarterback. I'm not high on Blake Barnett. He can't really throw the ball deep like Avery Johnson could. You know, if you watched a lot of Kansas State football last year especially, his main play was have the receivers run about 50 yards down the field, get enough pocket protection, and then watch the receivers come back to the ball and pick up huge chunks. I don't think Barnett has the arm to consistently do that. I think it's going to have to be a Dylan Edwards heavy team. And I think over the year he just gets broken down and injured because that's what running backs usually do. 7-5, and I think a trip to Birmingham to play Florida State in Birmingham Bowl.
Dad? Oh, Pablo?
I already went.
Oh, you already did. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna hop onto it. It's gonna be 6-6, and even if it's an away game, he's gonna be looking forward to that Week 5 matchup against AI BYU. We're going up against 1, 3, 14, and 16. We've got the champion. One of the guys he's been talking about constantly said he could beat me over and over and over. We're gonna see how it plays out this
McCard
season.
beat him in the playoffs.
Yeah,
McCard did knock him out of the playoffs a couple of years ago.
And, I mean, we've got the Season 1 championship rematch between Electric and Lamar.
It was Jackson and Lamar.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
Jackson?
No.
Jackson has made all 3 years.
Yeah. Only won 1.
Fun fact, Louisville had a 29-game win streak going, and then in Season 2, it was snapped by Kansas State.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
There's
saying
some history.
6-6. I'm saying he goes 0-4 for the first 4 weeks, and he's losing against Kansas. He's losing against Boise. TCU and USF, I don't know, but 6-6.
Yeah, he's cooked, basically, is what you're saying.
Okay.
19-game.
I have not went.
Apologies.
I just think we fully commit to this in 3-9.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Okay,
That's a stretch.
I'll be serious. I'll be
that's a
serious. I don't see the fairy tales. I'm not having him mad at me. I don't want him mad at me. So I'm gonna go 10-2. So
He's probably still gonna be mad at you over 10-2.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
think he'll
definitely
still be mad at me.
That's such a
I'm sure-
weak answer.
I'm sure Mr. the King, Heredia will also be mad at me after that answer. I just think on the road, if we scroll back up to week 0, I think that's the game. At Ole Miss against a 90 overall team with an 84 overall team with a new quarterback. I think he loses that one. And then if we scroll down to the end of the schedule, I see a loss against USF. I see a loss there.
Yeah.
I think DBJ means business. They did play in a exhibition game. DBJ did win that one, and on the road against some really fast wide receivers and stuff. I think USF gets that. So
Yeah.
10-2.
Is anyone else left?
I think that's everyone.
No. I do want to
That's
say real
everyone.
quick before we go, I think he's going to have to adapt because this new quarterback he's got is really good on the ground. So if Kansas State wants to get back to the playoffs, they're probably going to have to change up the offense, take more of a running style, option style, remnant of the Georgia Tech days. I remember Sauce in Season 1 with Georgia Southern had a very option-heavy offense. I think you got to adapt if you're Kansas State. Just work with what you got because I think the throwing the ball is going to be a struggle this year, and that's how they're going to lose games. But if they adapt and they hit the ground running, they will have success.
Is that everybody there?
Yeah, I think that was pretty long for all
Louisville.
of it. Oh, and it
Joker.
just gets better. Okay.
Oh, here we
I
go.
think it's fitting that I take over my son's schedule and went 9-4. Went 8-4 in the regular season for DJ. I mean, I think this is a revenge year, but he does not. He gets put to the test. 3 on the road games against Hale State, Mason, and Electric. You just can't. I mean, even the 5th. I think are all his user games on the road. Oh, he has one against Dirt. Okay, well he'll throttle Dirt by probably 30. And 9-3, I think he would be happy with. I think he beats Hail State at home. I think Hail State will or on the road, I'm sorry. I think Hail State will kind of struggle getting used to the new quarterback while DJ's quarterback is still staying. And then I think the overall aspect in that Georgia game in week 3 is the difference. And I think he loses to Electric. So I'll go 9-3 for this schedule. Hail State?
Well, I don't know what this always Joker clown's talking about.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm going 10-2 with losses to Mississippi State and Georgia. I think 1-2, much like last year, starts slow, but he wins. He finishes on a very long win streak. And 10-2, well, he got Miami. 9-3, but only one of those losses coming in conference. He will be there for the ACC championship game, right with Clemson. That Clemson game is going to decide it. I gave Clemson the nod over him in my Clemson prediction, but that game truthfully could go either way. So 8-4, 9-3. I guess I'll lock in 8-4 just because that Clemson game is on the road. But and I have faith in our Bills. But yeah, 8-4. I started 10-2 and went 8-4. Wow. But easily could flip me upside down and go 10-2 and make playoffs.
Dead?
I mean, I'm all for the Lamar comeback season, but I think it's going to be more of a whimper than a bang. It's going to be a 10-2 season. He's beaten Kansas State. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing it in them. But only losses probably going to come to Miami and Georgia if I really had to guess. So I'm saying 10-2 for this season. He's going to make the ACC championship, and unfortunately, it's probably going to be Miami again. That might just be it.
Then Jackson?
I think this is a Ren season. I think he's going to come out with something to prove. I got 11-1 with the loss to Georgia.
Oh, okay. Mason?
Yeah, I would just have to agree. I think we're going to see some vintage Lamar. Isaac Brown is one of the players that he has that we're getting into 2026 now. So Isaac Brown's development is really, really good, and he's going to be a really, really impactful player on this Louisville offense. I think there's going to be their starting running back. So 11-1 with a loss between the edges.
And I believe Pablo has not went.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's going to be anywhere from 8-4 to 10-2. Depends on how locked in we get Lamar. Last year we saw him start out 0-4, I believe. Struggling to find a win, but I'm going to go with 8-4 with losses to Mississippi State, Georgia, Kansas State, and Miami.
Okay, and I don't know who is that. LSU, so SEC.
Jackson, take over, everybody. Bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, LSU it's once a prestigious program. I had a losing record last season, and if we scroll down, I think he's only got 2 games against the AI. I think he loses one of them. I'm going 1-11. I don't really think there's much to say, to be honest.
Hail State.
Oh
my God.
I love Unk. I really do. He's one of my favorite members of the server. And unfortunately, in this league, it's just not panned out for him like it has in other leagues I'm in with him. I'm going to go 4-8 with wins over the 2 CPUs and then a win over App State and an upset win in the Big House at Michigan.
Okay. Wait, what did you say?
4-8.
Okay.
Okay. Can you scroll down to the bottom? Like all the way to the bottom. Let me see the bottom. Okay, I don't see an SEC win. Yeah, besides the 2 AIs, I think he can beat the AIs. I think we have 2 wins there, and he's splitting App State and Michigan. I think we see 3-9.
Yeah, he got a really hard SEC schedule. He might have the hardest SEC schedule that I've seen so far.
Yeah, it's a bad draw.
Yeah, that's
from
kind of
home.
bad. That's
It's a
terrible.
really bad draw. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say 5-7, and I say 5-7 because I think I don't. He's got other birds chirping in his ear too about this dynasty that aren't even in our league. So I think he's gonna be a little bit more committed maybe. He's gonna pick up these two AI games here. We scroll down, he'll pick up App State and Michigan, and week 7, week 8, he's gonna shock the world. One of these games in Tiger Stadium, he'll shock the world. One of these games right here.
All right.
I'm looking at that Texas A&M game, Mason. That could be
Yeah,
a trap
I mean,
game.
It
could be a
depends
trap
on
game
what
at Kyle
Texas A&M.
Field.
Because
Depends
Texas
on how good
A&M could be
Texas
playing
A&M
for a
is at
playoff
that
appearance
point.
at that point in the season.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at these two right here. I mean, these are your two SEC home games right here that you're going to get. It's not an AI game. And no matter what your record is, Tiger Stadium is going to be rocking. So I think he's going to shock the world in one of these 2 weeks.
Especially if one of those games gets put at the nighttime TV slot.
Nighttime
Tiger
TV
Stadium
slot
at
and
night
it's
is
raining.
different.
You're cooked if you're the away team.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
But yeah, I mean 5-7 for me. Who's
Down
next?
with a girl in Louisiana, as they say. Suck that
I'm gonna
tiger.
keep
I'm
it
not gonna
short.
finish that.
I'm gonna keep it sweet. I'm gonna say 0-12.
Okay.
No
No
custom
mercy.
playbook. Brink is an 0-12 team. Brink with the custom playbook is maybe a 3-9 at best. I mean,
Okay.
like you guys
Well,
have been saying, this is the hardest SEC draw that we've seen out of all the teams so far, and it's not an easy non-conference schedule to make up for it either. The only game I could maybe see him squeaking a win out at is probably going to be Michigan, just because both of them play that same slow old man game. It's gonna be a tough battle, and honestly, I'd love for that to be game of the week, but it's not going to happen.
That is going to be the scenes in the big house.
I
The scenes in the
want to
big
watch
house
that.
in
Do we
week
see a
three.
point
The fly on the
scored?
wall.
Do we see a point scored?
That might be a 3-2
We
game,
might-
like the old
We
Auburn
might see a
State game in
2-0
08.
game.
Yeah, I see a
We might
6-3
see a
game.
2-0.
I see a 7-0 game.
Yeah.
I think someone gets
A pick
gets
six?
or a
Yeah,
pick six or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, you're right.
All right,
Actually,
Joker. What's your prediction? Let's keep moving on.
2-10. I don't think we need to waste our time. The two AIs and losses against every single user by more than 10 points. Thank you.
is that everybody?
Yep.
Miami.
My ACC. So back to us. I mean, look at the sauce. The ACC champion got kind of. I would say this is a cupcake. Doesn't have the heavy schedule that he was kind of expecting. As an ACC champion, I mean, look at this. This is 10-2. I think 10-2 is generous. 11-1 is a possibility.
Something might have not saved.
He had a Notre Dame game.
He did have
Oh,
Notre Dame
no.
week 6, I believe.
Notre Dame was the one that was giving us problems last year, and it seems
And
they're
it's-
doing the same this year.
I think it was
So
week
that's the
6
only
he had Notre
issue.
Dame.
And Notre Dame
That's
was
the-
giving us this problem last year as well. Same team.
Scroll down. Keep scrolling down.
We're not.
Let's give another bye week, because I see him. Yeah, 10.
Well,
Okay.
just
well,
a Mickey draw.
yeah, I would have if that Notre Dame game was there, I probably would have said 9-3. But I think Florida, he's gonna lose, and then, I mean, does he lose against DJ at home? I'm gonna go 11-1. Unfortunately,
What's unfortunate about
Yeah, I
it's
would just have
unfortunate
to
because
agree.
he lost tough. He lost a good user. That probably would have been a 50-50 game, and I think that would have been the second loss. But I think 11-1, loss against Florida, and then in the ACC championship again.
Yeah, see, I don't think he's losing to Florida. I think he's losing to Louisville, but I would say 11-1 as well.
Sauce is a good team. The only issue with the Miami Hurricanes is the quarterback play, but half the time the quarterback's not even on the field. So the Wild Cane is going to run wild. I'm going 11-1 with his only blemish coming to Florida or Missouri. And the ACC championship game back in, I think he wins and he gets back into the playoffs. And just becomes a headache for defensive coordinators around the country to stop the Wild Canes. So give me 11-1 for Sauce.
I'm definitely going to hop on the bandwagon here. I'm going to say 11-1. That only loss is going to come against Florida. I mean, you're going up against Nick Harbour, Jeremiah Smith, two of the most highly touted transfers in the portal. And this is kind of going to just be the make or break season for Miami. I mean, you made it all the way up to Oregon last season. You got probably one of the easiest conference draws possible, and getting bailed out on that Notre Dame game is kind of saving you. But this has got to be the season. You got to make the playoffs. You got to go as far as possible. I want to see you make a trip to the Natty, but you got to prove
it. Jackson?
I'm gonna go 10-2 here. I think we see a loss to Florida and Louisville.
Okay.
I think I'll see 11-1. I think he goes 2-3 or 2-1, wins 2 out of 3 against Florida, Missouri, and Louisville, and could make a deep run in the playoffs.
And then Mason Pope. Or did Mason Pope already go?
He already said 11-1.
Okay. Is the next team
Next
the
team,
Michigan? Okay, Dead. You have the floor.
I mean, you could not have a better conference draw. He's got one user, and that is Nebraska.
Oh.
I mean, this is just a trip straight to the Big Ten title shot for any other team but Michigan. He's going 0-5 on these users. I mean, honestly, I'll say 0-4 on the users with maybe a victory against LSU, but I don't even know on that one. But he's going to be dropping some of these AI games that are going to be really important later in the season. This draw could not have come to a worse team inside the Big Ten. I'm a huge Big Ten homer, as many of you know, and it's going to be another 6-6 season. It's 6-6.
Be an interesting
and maybe
look
6-2.
if the conference that claims they're better than the SEC puts tie racing in the Big Ten championship game.
I mean, sometimes it's just the luck of the draw. Can't win them all.
Yeah.
He's not going to win them all.
Yeah, I don't think he wins one non-conference game. I'm gonna go 4-8. I think he just starts losing CPU games. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The Ohio State game not being on here is a travesty. I guess Michigan just got so tired of owning Ohio State in real life that they just decided not to put them on the schedule this year. That's unfortunate. We lost that rivalry 2 years ago too, but I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why the game keeps not scheduling that, but if he starts 0-5, then goes 3-3 on the CPU front, so 4-8.
I'll be the last of our group. I think I see a loss in the first 3 games. I think he beats Brink, and I think Slick. I think he kind of gets a run going. He beats Slick and Brink, and then I think 6-6. Ty has been known to kind of lose some CPU games, so I think 6-6. 3 losses against the first 3. I think he starts 0-3, comes back 2-3, and then kind of fizzles out to some 6-6 for the Wolverines. Mason? I don't think he's
Jackson?
here though.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, my mic was muted.
Okay.
I think
Just don't think.
probably 3-9. Yeah. He'll pick up a user game and lose like 5 of these.
You're talking to the guy that led in the Cup Series Daytona 500, by the way.
Yeah, I'm also talking to a guy that I play with in another league who is. I was up like 56-0 in the second quarter against him, so I just don't think
For the record, in that league, I beat Mason by 20.
he's not cut material.
Let's go
Pablo.
Cougs, Washington State.
I see
Shout out to
7-5
that dynasty.
and a Big Ten title appearance.
I think
I've been a Big
I'll go
Ten
next.
title.
I think this is probably the easiest schedule in the league by far. I'm going 12-0.
Oh my, that's not
He's
positive.
riding
That's
with
a
the
troll.
Wolverines, baby.
There's
I
not.
like
That's,
it.
that's
Let's
not
just get a dark
possible.
horse, right?
I will
Let's
bet
get a playoff
$150
tie,
that
I
Ty does
will
not go
put
12
so
and 0
much money on
with Jackson Altman.
Any
I will
bet.
take
I'm not.
that bet.
Why would I bet that with you? You got to give me. I got to give you like 5, and you give me 150. And even then, I'm giving you a free 5, but I'm still going 12-0.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we
I thought
should
I was
just-
a Big Ten.
Did
winner.
Pablo go?
Man,
Yeah, I went 7-5, Big Ten title appearance.
Okay, I think we
Where
just
we
need
could
to
see
move
throwing
on
in that
after
game, which results in him winning.
And
Because
making
there
the
were
playoffs
throwing-
at 8-5.
Allegations.
That's crazy.
So the Big
Okay.
Ten is rampant with those kind of throwing allegations. You know, the officiating just not standard in the Big Ten.
Let's see what's after this. I think it's an SEC team.
I think it is too. It might be.
I believe it's
um,
Michigan State.
Mason Pope.
yeah,
No,
Michigan
Michigan
State is not a
We had
user.
a user for Michigan State, but
Oh,
he
I
did not
forgot
make
about
it.
that. To be honest.
He did not make it. To
Here
the
we go.
offseason.
Hail State.
All right. I know this is one y'all are looking forward to, but
Ooh.
uh,
Okay, here we go.
you
have
want
the
me to
floor.
go? You want me to walk? Okay, I'll walk through my schedule. I think this is a no excuses year, not for the national championship, but definitely for the SEC championship. We do enjoy only 4 user games in conference. Really, Oklahoma and Ole Miss, the two that we have circled in conference. But non-conference is going to be hard. But we're lucky to draw 3 home games against 3 of the premier teams in the country, that being Louisville, Kansas, and Oregon. Before anybody says, "Oh, Mickey's schedule, blah blah blah," I do want to remind you that we are playing the 2 defending national champions. So I'm going
3 defending.
3 defending national champions. I'm sorry to forget that. I'm just going 11-1. I think we do have a new quarterback at the helm. I know that I said after the Sugar Bowl that this is Parsons' team. Well, he slacked off in the offseason, and now it's a new era of Mississippi State football for Kamario Taylor to take the reins of the Bulldogs. I'm going 11-1. Split with Oregon and Ole Miss, but we both know I'm not losing to Ole Miss. I got the A, and it's pretty nice to look at. So I'm going to keep it, lose to Oregon, go 11-1.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, Mason? Is Mason here? I don't think so. His mic is muted.
Yeah, sorry. Just again, with all due respect,
Here we go.
8-4. Thank you.
Is it 8-4? Okay, let me write that down.
Pablo?
Why are you acting like 8-4 is crazy? Like 8-4
Yeah,
is
it's
not
really
crazy
not
with this
that
schedule.
crazy. I mean, you're looking at a loss here. You're looking at a loss at Oregon. You're looking at a loss at Ole Miss, and you're probably dropping either Oklahoma or Kansas. Let's get real, Hail State.
Okay, I'm glad you think
8-4,
that.
buddy.
We have 8-4 and 11-1, and I'm gonna go with 9-3. I think he either loses to Louisville, Kansas, or Oklahoma, one of those, and then Oregon and Ole Miss is a loss. I think Ole Miss is gonna come out hot in the Egg Bowl after losing it last year. We have to have Hail State's got to drop one game he shouldn't, right? He has to. He has the last 2 years.
I wouldn't be surprised if I had to pick a game where it's like, oh, he should easily win. That Oklahoma game.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I don't hate
Because
that.
he's,
actually.
when we get to week 4, Hail State's gonna be looking ahead to Oregon.
No,
Yeah.
well, we don't look ahead at Mississippi State. See, that's the difference between me and you. We don't look ahead.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, so if I had to pick, it would be the Oklahoma game that he kind of has a chance of losing.
I do have to remind everybody, by the way, last year everyone predicted me to go 7-5, and I went 9-3. So I'm usually a game or two over everyone's predictions. So
I mean, 3 points more, and you're probably 7-5 with the Ole Miss finish, and then
sure, but then again, in year one, 10 points, and I win 3 more games, and I'm 10-2.
yeah, right. So, Mason, Pablo, did Jackson give his prediction?
I don't think so.
No,
Here we go.
I've got 7-5. I think Ole Miss, Louisville, Kansas, Oregon, and then App State, Oklahoma, or Alabama. And I'm also asking to speed up because we're through 12 teams and it's been an hour.
Only 12?
We've been through 12? I thought we've been through more
We've
than
been through
12.
way more. I think we're about halfway done.
That might be 12.
But yeah,
We've been through 12. 13.
Oh my God.
He's been like writing them down as we go. So
Oh, okay.
I
will
for an hour,
go-
by the way.
I will go 9-3. I think losses to Oregon, Louisville. I think, as I said earlier, and then Ole Miss down the line.
I'm going to go 8-4. He's going to lose to 3 former national champions, and if he doesn't lose the game against Kansas, he might drop it against Alabama.
Okay.
I think everyone went right.
Yep.
This team.
You know
Oh
cowbell.
my goodness.
Yeah, clearly.
Missouri SEC. Jackson or Pablo, you want to take control, or do you kind of just
Sorry, I'm
want to
on
speed
the
this up?
I can
I
go.
want to speed this up.
Okay, he wants to speed this up. It is also
Okay.
close to bedtime, so
Well,
Pablo.
there's a gauntlet right there. Miami, Georgia, Florida's a gauntlet. Scroll down. Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas.
Oh my
another
God.
gauntlet. I think
Ugh.
we might see 7-5.
Mm.
Yeah, I see 7-5.
I'm gonna say 8-4.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 8-4 too.
Yeah, I'll say. Could you scroll down to those bottom 3 teams again? I believe it's Ole Miss, Texas, and Tennessee. It is. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. Oh, I
does
think he
get home
beats Riley.
games. He does get home games against those 3.
I'll
Holy
say
crap,
8-4 too. I think I'll see 8-4. I think he beats Riley, but Ole Miss, Georgia, and Florida, and then the Miami game.
Yeah, at Georgia, at Florida's brutal.
Unfortunately, I think he beats me. Unfortunately.
I'm going to go 6-6.
Yeah, I'm also going to fall into that 6-6 crowd.
Yeah, I just think that's a little disrespectful.
Nebraska? Slick,
Ooh.
Big Ten, so I'll take
Yeah.
control on this one. I mean, we don't know how good Slick is. I believe he played Captain Dead Dad, and Dead Dad beat him. What was the score? Do you remember? Was it
I
close?
believe it was 35 to either 7 or 14. It was a rain game, too.
So you kind of blew him out. So, and if you're losing to Dead Dad, then playing Orange, Pablo, and McCard probably isn't the best team for you. So 0-3, scroll down, please. 0-4, 0-5, 0-6. So I think he beats Ty. Oh, I think I said Ty was beating him, so I can't. I think he goes 0-7 in the user games and 4-8 on the season.
I just have to disagree. That's disrespectful. Slick's a decent user. I played him a lot in Pepsi's league as a part of the Kansas-Missouri rivalry. But I'm gonna go 7-5 as debut. Well, first real full season in HPL. Yeah, 7-5. He beats Michigan. He beats Charlotte. And he beats Penn State. So 7-5.
I'm going to say 6-6 off of this one. I mean, he's probably going to end up beating Ty, and the AI games, he'll probably be able to clean that up pretty easily, but the only other user game I really see him cleaning up is probably that Charlotte one. Just Michigan and Charlotte probably going to be his only 2 wins there, but 6-6.
Jackson?
I'm going 3-9 here.
Pablo?
6-6.
Mason Pope.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Here it again.
7-5.
Okay.
And Notre Dame. Okay, another Big Ten. He obviously lost out. Which team did he lose out? Miami, but I think he's definitely good. USF, he gets put to the test. Oh my gosh, he's also a 91 overall. I did not notice that
Oh,
until
okay.
now.
Is this no
Wisconsin.
excuses club?
I don't think so. I don't think he's that good as Jackson portrayed
He's
him to
won
be.
2 playoff games before.
That's good for him. I
Yeah,
do
the
not
schedule
care.
just-
His most
This
recent
also is a
performance,
very
3
hard
points.
schedule. This also is a very tough
He
schedule.
can't walk on water. So look at USF on the road, Wisconsin, Oregon. This might be 7-5. Scroll down, please.
What?
7-5.
That's not that crazy. Ole Miss, Ohio State, Oregon, Wisconsin, USF, and maybe USC. Thank you.
I'm going 9-3. This is a tough schedule, but I don't know why Joker's hating on him so much.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
9-3.
maybe it's the USC Notre Dame rivalry coming in. Maybe Joker finally has some passion for college football, but I'm going 9-3. He does get to host Dead Dad in Jackson towards the end of the year. That Ole Miss Notre Dame game, a big non-conference matchup towards the end of the year. And Oregon. He has home games against the really tough opponents. I'm going 9-3.
I'm also going to say 9-3.
Me too.
Going 8-4.
9-3. I think he drops USF, Oregon, and go back down to the bottom. Ole Miss. Yeah, USF, Oregon, Ole Miss.
And Mason?
He went. He
9-3.
said 9-3.
I think everyone went, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Ohio State. Oh, okay. I think this is also a part of the No Excuses Club, and Dad has the floor.
I mean, we want to call every season a 12-0 season, and if I wanted to be more realistic about it, I'm probably going to say another 10-2 season. We're going to make the playoffs. We've been there every year since year one, and really, I think the only losses that I'm probably going to end up going to be against Oregon, and Notre Dame's kind of an unknown because I haven't faced him yet in the 2 seasons he's been in the Big Ten. So I'm going to say 10-2 on the season.
Okay, Ohio State.
I'm going 8-4.
Go.
I think the Georgia loss is going to demoralize the Ohio State fan base. Not necessarily known for their loyalty. They won't show up for that Bama game, and Heredia's going to storm in there and beat him.
We're predicting 5-0 on Alabama.
And then, then Oregon beats him. He might lose at Penn State. Ohio State doesn't have a great track record on the road at Beaver Stadium. Ohio State
I'm
really
undefeated in Beaver Stadium.
Well, I'm talking about in real life, but I mean, sure, yeah. And then at the Coliseum later in the year is a trap game. At Notre Dame, he drops. I'm going 8-4.
I'll also go 8-4. I think there are losses against Oregon. I think he loses the first 3 games at home. I don't remember the first 3 user games. I believe I don't think he loses to Alabama, but Oregon, I believe Georgia and Kansas State will all be losses, and then I think he drops either Notre Dame or USC. Jackson?
I'm gonna go 7-5. I think he loses to Georgia, Kansas State, Oregon, Penn State, and Notre Dame.
Pablo?
I say 7-5 too. I think we're gonna see too much grass touched for the Ohio State head coach. He's just gonna go 7-5.
Too much grass on
Since he
Arma.
does have the grass touch record. If y'all didn't know that,
He was actually flexed his grass touched earlier.
yeah.
Yeah. Mason?
I'm gonna say 8-4. Picking up losses at Oregon, Kansas State, Georgia, and we'll probably drop on the road at USC.
Yeah.
Next team?
Rough season for the Buckeyes. But I think
I'm keeping all these in mind. It's okay.
they're about
Go
to win the
ahead.
national championship.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think they'll be all right.
I'll keep them in mind for you. Okay. Next team. SEC.
Yeah, just you got Virginia Tech, Michigan, Cupcake. 3 really tough games. 7-5.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I'm going 9-3. I mean, look at his overall though. Like, Steezy's one of those guys, right, that the past 2 years, while on the field may not have been up to Oklahoma standards, the recruiting classes have definitely been up to Oklahoma standards. He's brought in 2 back-to-back really good classes. So he's got the weapons this year. It's not going to be the easy Oklahoma Sooners of years past, maybe. This is going to be a hard team to beat. I'm going 9-3.
Joker.
Can we scroll down? Boise State. Oh my gosh.
That's a rough ending.
That is, I think, it depends, because Steezy could be really good. He beat Riley before, but he also lost
But
to
then
me.
he lost to Always Joker in the bowl game.
So, I think I'm going to say 7-5. I'm going to be a little bit, I think that's safe for me. I think anything above that is kind of reaching for something. 7-5.
Jackson.
Going 5-7 here.
That's terrible.
Jackson is such a hater, dude.
Pablo.
7-5. No, 8-4. 8-4.
Is that
I'm
everybody?
also gonna say 8-4.
Captain, 8-4.
Yeah, 8-4.
Alright. I think I hated on Steezy last season.
Hell
too.
State, we'll let you take this one.
I love I just love the people in Oxford, Mississippi, right? Well, let's see. Scroll down for me. I think he loses to Charlotte. And then, yeah. 8-4, missed the playoffs.
Wow.
Joker.
Oh my goodness. This is not, this is a crazy, the user game, the only thing I think he guarantees.
At Texas to open up the I'm sorry, but to interrupt you, but yeah, at Texas.
It's not open up the conference.
Well,
He has week one
to
conference
open up
game.
the real conference play, because we know Vanderbilt's not really. Yeah.
This is crazy.
Not
I think
really.
the only guaranteed win here is Charlotte at the user side, the user aspect. I'm gonna say 10-2. 10-2.
I'm gonna say 12-0. I mean, defending national champion, played him in the playoffs last season, and wish I hadn't. Honestly, probably would have been better sending that game. So I'm gonna say 12-0.
Yeah.
He's making it back to the playoffs. He's not making it all the way though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Just 12-0.
There are some allegations that since the championship game was played in the rain that it's Mickey, mainly brought up by our West Coast fans in Oregon.
I've also heard that.
Yeah, I don't know if those allegations have any truth to them, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, I don't think the rain has anything to do with scoring 7 points, but
Who has not went?
Me.
me and Pablo.
I'll go 11-1, and I think he just drops a game that he probably shouldn't at some point and cruises into the SEC championship game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 10-2 here. I think we have a little bit of a hangover year, but still find our way into the playoffs, and we know what happens once I get into the playoffs.
Okay. I believe that's that. And, okay. Well, here we go. Mason, you have the floor.
Yeah, just there's been a lot of. So his game didn't save either because we didn't have this.
We had a Texas, Oregon in week 1, so
We did.
that's fun.
Well, Oregon gets Tennessee for the third straight
Still a
year,
difficult schedule.
and what I'm sure is both those
What's at
fan
the
bases
bottom?
probably sick of each other by this point. It's up at the bottom. Okay.
Ooh, he kind of cleans up nicely in the second
Yeah.
half, but this first half he kind of gets put to the test of how good he really is.
Yeah, I say 10-2.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. He goes 2-2 in the Tennessee, Georgia, Notre Dame, Miss State, Ohio State. He goes 3-2 in those 5 games, but Mississippi State, Georgia probably being the losses, the most probable losses, just because they're road games. But yeah, I'll go 10-2 and return to the playoffs for Georgia Ducks.
I'm gonna say 11-1. Only loss coming up against Georgia. I mean, that's a pretty heated rivalry
All right.
for those that know.
Jackson, I'm getting a phone call. My picks will be sent to you on Snapchat because I gotta go. You guys tell me when to switch to the next team.
All right.
Okay.
It's 2 a.m. by the way for phone calls. Anyways,
Really young. The night's
Jackson.
still young. You live above the gun, you're gonna die.
I'm gonna go 9-3 here. I think that championship loss kind of broke him.
Okay.
I'm going 11-1, and I think he loses one of the three that or the four, I guess, the Tennessee, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Mississippi State.
His defense definitely is. I mean, it's not the best overall, but it's definitely the most talented. In the,
I've
in the
I've
league,
looked
in
at his
my opinion.
defense. It's 99 speed across the defense, at linebacker, at corner, at safety.
Yeah, honestly, the best strategy for an offense going up against Oregon is to just
Correct.
hope, pray and hope. Yeah, hope and prayers.
I'll go 11-1. I think the loss to Georgia, but I think everyone else, I think he kind of cleans up pretty nicely. I think if he can get out of this 5-game stretch from Tennessee to Ohio State, user game aspect with one loss, I think he'll be in a good spot, especially playing Kluka, I believe Speed and Slick later on in the season.
Yeah.
Everyone?
Is everyone?
Did we get Mason's pick?
Mason said
Yeah,
10 to
He's
10.
sending it on Snapchat, and
He said 10-2.
10-2. Okay, and we can switch to the next team. Penn State, Kluka, Kobe.
Everyone loves Kluka, right?
Everyone loves the good old Kobe.
I mean, he's working with a team that Bellator kind of butchered. He came off of, I think, almost no recruits from Bellator the season prior, and it's definitely showing in that overall 88 overall, 87 offense. He's got a pretty easy non-conference schedule. I think he goes 4-0 off of this, but when it comes into conference, I mean, Ohio State undefeated at Beaver Stadium. He's dropping one there. We're dropping it against Oregon. Notre Dame, I'm not too sure, but I'm going to say probably going to be 8-4 for the Nittany Lions.
I do want to point out real quick that Penn State did land the #1 overall player in the portal for the Minnesota running back. So he does have a good running back. I don't know what the QB situation is over in Happy Valley, though.
They got a QB.
They got a QB? Okay. Well, I was going to say 7-5, but since they did pick up the QB and the running back that they needed to replace Aller and Singleton with, I'll go 8-4.
Okay. Could we just scroll down to the bottom of the schedule so I can see who else they play? Hopefully he is after controller.
I believe the users were Nebraska.
Oh, perfect.
Wisconsin.
I mean, I think
We had a
8-4.
long stretch of home games here.
Oh my gosh, he has 6 home games in a
It's
row.
definitely going to save him a bit, but I don't
I
think
think
he'll be able to
8-4.
come
It's
back.
going to be good for recruiting, too.
8-4 for me, for Kluka. I mean, he beat Electric by multiple touchdowns a few hours ago, so if he can kind of keep that consistency up, then I think 8-4 is good for him.
Electric lost to what are we doing?
Yeah, 30-7.
What are we doing?
It wasn't
I'm
close.
gonna go
It was
9-3.
kinda
I think he
down.
drops. Go down. I think Oregon.
How many
maybe
road
Ohio,
games does he
Oregon,
have?
Notre
He has
Dame,
like-
and then another one.
He
Maybe
has
Ohio
3
State.
road
But that's,
games. 4 road
Wow.
games. 5 road games. Okay, 5 road games.
5 is
More
good.
adjustments at the goal line.
Mason says 9-3. I'm going 4-8. I think he gets caught resetting the CPU game.
He did lose at Purdue last year after
That
trying to
is
reset
also
it.
true.
You know, we-
He did have 2 plays on 2 AI games.
I just would
One
like
thing
to
we-
point out to everybody that if he had not lost that AI game, he probably would have gotten the playoffs over me. And that is insane. So thank you for shout out to the Boilermakers. I love you.
One thing we could see from them is editing players' cosmetics, like the size of them and their height and weight with this team. So
So a kick
That's
from
something
the
to look out
server is
for.
possible. Okay.
Close
Joker,
eye on
do you
him,
pick?
That's for sure.
I went 8-4.
Um,
I'll change that to 7-5 with a loss against one CPU. Then I think that's
Okay.
bound to happen. TCU, Big 12. I mean, they're ranked as of now. So, and he gets put on the
Oh.
test with Dirt, Penn State, and Virginia Tech. I mean, we don't know how good Go Boom is
I'm
on
gonna be
college
honest though.
football.
This 79 overall that's staring me down. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I mean, if we can scroll down to the bottom half of the schedule, just to kind of see what we're looking at. I mean, I mean, oh no. Okay. I'm gonna be generous and say 7-5. I think losses to Boise State, Kansas State, and USF, and then probably a loss to Kluka and either Florida State or Virginia Tech.
I don't know much about Go Boom, and I don't know much about TCU, but I know a lot about bad overalls, and this is a 6-6 team.
Yeah, I was gonna go 5-7. CPU game. I mean, UMass not a slouch. They have they recruited the number 3 overall transfer portal player. So if that tells you anything about our skills as a league and recruiting, there you go. But I don't know a lot about Go Boom, but I'm not saying this based off the user. I'm saying this based off the overall. I'm gonna go 5-7.
Okay, Jackson.
I don't think Jackson's
Pablo.
here. Pablo?
5-7.
I was muted. I'm gonna go 6-6, and Mason's got 8-4.
Oh, generous. Okay,
Man,
let's move on.
All right.
trying to schmooze up to the big boys of RSA.
The 10 of the sea.
Old Rocky Top down in the Tennessee Hills. All right. Good old Rocky Top.
Hail State?
I think his team got better this year, in overall wise. I'm gonna go, well, Blackout Drunk McCard goes 12-0, but I don't think he drinks for every game. But I'm gonna go 10-2. I'm gonna be nice here. I think he drops Ole Miss, drops Oregon, and then scroll down to the bottom of the conference schedule real quick. Okay, now I'll say 9-3. He drops either Texas or Missouri and finishes 9-3.
I'm also going to say 9-3 on this one.
Jackson?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 8-4 here. I think he drops a couple of the users, and then Mason's got to be in a rebound year, and he's got him going 10-2.
Yeah, I kind of can see that 10-2.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that too.
I'll go 9-3. I'll be safe. I think he makes the playoffs because he was 8-4 and was ranked 14th. Or I don't know if that's how accurate that is, but I think he goes 9-3.
Now, this next
Pablo?
team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pablo.
I see a lost Oregon, and then Kansas State's a toss-up game, but I see Ole Miss and Texas. It's tough games. So I'm gonna say, I think I'm gonna go 9-3, I guess.
Yeah. Now, this next team, to me at least, is the head of the No Excuses Club, because outside of Ole Miss and Tennessee and Mizzou, he really doesn't have that hard of a conference schedule. Or a schedule period. His out-of-conference schedule is really not that impressive.
It had to not saved, right?
Yeah, he
it
lost
doesn't
the
say.
Oregon-Texas game, so I think that probably would have made this a little bit tougher, but
Yeah, that would have, but we can't play what ifs. He's winning every out-of-conference game. I'm going to predict 10-2 with losses to Ole Miss and Missouri.
Captain Dead Dad, well, as he leaves the party, he's gonna go 7-5.
Okay.
Oh, so he kind of just unravels. I could kind of see that. Like, I mean, he lost to Steezy, he lost to Texas A&M last year. I kind of see that. Maybe he's not here for 1 week. He's on vacation in the Bahamas, loses an AI game.
Turks and Caicos or wherever Drake goes.
Yeah, probably having the maid clean his house, and he's not able to get inside.
Maybe the maid picks up the controller for one of these CPU games and drops it. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 11. I feel like 11-1 or 12-0 is easily possible, but I think there's a loss somewhere. I think I see 10-2. I'm gonna go 11-1 and lock that in.
It is, but he's got the talent. He did hand out a lot of burnt orange supers over the offseason to recruits.
I see 10-2. I think he drops Ole Miss in one other game.
I'm gonna go 11-1 here. I think loses to me, and then Mason's got 9-3.
I mean, App State week 1. Don't count out the Mountaineers. Don't play with them. We know from personal experience. Speaking of don't play with him, Crinkley and Texas A&M we've shared some good battles over a couple leagues, but I'm still very frustrated with the end of that game last year. But I'm gonna go 9-3. I think that 3-game stretch, Georgia, Ole Miss, OU, I think he loses those 3. Or he loses to either Boise State or Oklahoma to go 9-3.
I agree. I think he goes 9-3. I think he beats Boise. Just the difference in overall there. It's like 5 overall difference. And Tennessee's gonna be a close one. I think he probably drops it. I think he drops Georgia. Will you go down? I think he drops Ole Miss and then maybe Oklahoma.
Texas A&M. Oh, you can go.
All right, I'm gonna go 7-5 here.
Okay.
If we could scroll back up.
Mason's got
top.
8-4.
I kind of see the 8-4 too. It didn't save the Nebraska game with him as well. Yeah, 8-4. I think he kind of gets throttled by Boise State, Tennessee, and then I think 2 more SEC teams further down the line. Maybe I think he plays Ole Miss. Maybe. But yeah, 8-4. Is that everyone? Pablo, did he go?
Yeah, I went 9-3.
I think everyone went, and I think we can move on. Texas A&M. I believe he made the playoffs last year. Lost
did.
to Miami.
We won a playoff game, although it being CPU, but still playoff win. And we can move on to the next one.
If Mason can just press L2. Thank you. Oh! Hey!
There we go. A team we all wanted to predict.
Ellen, I mean, the USC, the Trojans, 88 overall, 90 on defense. I don't know how. We get LSU, Missouri, Alabama. It did not save the Oklahoma game. If we could just scroll down.
Fresno State was a playoff team last year.
Okay.
They
If we
were.
could just scroll down.
That's not a joke. That's a fact.
Penn State, Wisconsin. Oh. I mean, I think 8-4 for me, I think is probably the ceiling here, possibly. I could also see 9-3, but I could also see 8-4, maybe 7-5. I'll lock in an answer. I'll say 8-4.
Okay. I'm gonna go 5-7. I think too much NASCAR heat with that starting back up is gonna take the head coach's attention away from CFB, and I think he drops a couple games he probably shouldn't. I look to Beaver Stadium and Penn State. I look to Week 4 with Bama in the Coliseum. I'm gonna go 5-7.
I have to take a phone call, so I'm gonna just ignore everyone else's predictions. Thank you.
Okay, well.
See 7-5.
7-5. Okay.
I think he loses to Missouri, Penn State, and then the teams at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 5-7 here. And Mason's got him going 10-2, making the playoffs.
Mason.
That sounds like a prediction from last year. I think 10-2 was.
I think Joker had himself going like 11-1 last season.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I thought that he would go 11-1. He had like a Mickey schedule, kind of.
Well, I mean, that's nothing new in the Big Ten, but he certainly didn't get it this year.
No, we could move on.
Next team. Virginia Tech. At this point, I think it's just me, Jackson, and Pablo on the stream, but yeah, Virginia Tech, new user. I think I don't know, what's his name? Does anyone have it? It's McCard's friend. No one?
Bean is a third leg or something.
Bean, okay. I feel bad to call him Bean, so I'm just going to call him the Virginia Tech user. I predict he's got a decent squad, talent-wise at least. I don't know a lot about the user though. I've never seen him play. I'll go 6-6 just because I don't know. I'm not educated enough to make a guess really.
Can we get a scroll down? I'm going 4-8.
He does have a decent conference schedule, so he could make the championship game if he's a good user, because Charlotte and App State are the only two users I saw that are in conference.
I think I'll see. I really have no idea about him, to be honest. I could see him going like 10-2 or 6-6, and I'm gonna say like 7-5. And Joker said
Joker's
6-6.
got 6-6. Mason, you got a prediction?
Virginia Tech.
Mason's got 5-7.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, we go to speed. His team got better, but I think he's too busy with NHL to watch this video. So it really doesn't matter what I say. He went 6-6 last year. I'll give him one more win. I'll give him 7-5.
I think he drops Clemson, Notre Dame, Penn State. Will you go down? And USC and Oregon. That's 5. I think he goes 6-6 or 5-7. I'll say 6-6 and is unhappy with the season.
Yeah, I'm also
Why is it
going to
busy?
go with 6-6 here, and Mason's going to go 7-5.
Yeah. Well, he's a busy guy, right? He's got a lot going on. So, you know, we respect that.
And Joker has 5-7.
Okay. Well, next
Is that
team.
it?
There's still a couple more.
There's 3 more.
Let's go to the next one. I think it was Wisconsin.
Or 4
yes,
more.
The Bounce House. This is a new user to the league, Steelers boy. Don't know a lot about him, but I do know this first 4 games are looking very rough. I'm gonna go 0-4 in the first 4 just because I think that those 4 users are really good. And then scroll down. I'll go 5-7.
I'm gonna go. Oh, he's gonna start out 0-4, and then at the bottom, I think if we can scroll down there again, and he drops Oregon and Penn State and maybe USC. So I want to say like a 7-5 or 6-6 actually.
I'm going to go 9-3 here. I haven't seen him play, but I've heard good things, so we're going to go 9-3.
Okay. We wait for the other coaches to send in their predictions remotely. Good USF. USF, the Bulls, Dirty Boy
Mason's got
Jackson,
8-4 for
and Joker has
Wisconsin.
8-4 as well. Joker got 8-4 for the Badgers. So we're here to USF. Beat Electric in a exhibition. So he's clearly a competent user, but he's also a Padres fan. So he clearly doesn't make good decisions off the game. So we're gonna go here. Go down to the bottom. Okay. I'll go 9-3. I'll go 9-3. Potential Big 12 title berth.
Okay, I see Kansas State there. I think he actually takes that game at home with a better team actually, which is surprising. But can you go back up to the top so I can see the first 4 games he has? And I think he loses to Notre Dame, maybe. I don't know. I see 11-1 to be honest.
This is a good schedule. I was just saying that. I was just thinking that in the back of my head. This is a very favorable schedule.
Yeah, I'm going 12-0
11-1.
here.
The
I'm going
South Florida
12-0.
Bulls to go back to their 07 form and try to get it back on top of the college football world here. 12-0 is a possibility when you really lay it out and think about it. I'll just go 9-3 just to be safe. Just because we don't know a lot about.
Did you say
How he's gonna
9-3?
play with this team. Yeah.
Waiting on the picks from the other two.
The other coaches.
Mason's got 9-3.
Okay. Well, while Jokerson's in his pick, we'll go ahead with App State here. I believe they're the lowest overall team. Well, nope, TCU is. I lied. App State's second lowest overall team. Mr. Williams here. Keep scrolling. I go 6-6 here. Improvement for the App State Mountaineers. I think he has a tough time, especially out of conference, and he drops the games that he needs to get him into the ACC
Can you go up a
championship.
little bit? Wow, we could see a ACC title berth here.
We could.
He's got Charlotte,
but I just don't think he's beating Charlotte.
I don't think he is either, really, but I think if he does, a one-loss ACC team could definitely make the title.
Yeah, it could. I'll have him stay on the same record. I got him going 5-7 again.
I think I've got 6-6.
We know personally from Mississippi State Bulldogs not to play with Mr. Williams, so we have experience with him. We get that rematch again. Got to go on the road, so that's going to be a trap game for me, I'm sure.
What do you got?
Me,
I
I
had
was going
6-6.
6-6. We both had 6-6.
All right, Mason's got 8-4.
Okay. And finally, last but certainly not least, the Charlotte 49ers, a fan favorite. I would really love to be the guy that goes 12-0 for Charlotte, but that start's just brutal, isn't it? Okay. I'm gonna go 9-3. Drops to Florida, drops to Ole Miss, and drops to Miami. I think he cleans up nicely. I think he beats Nebraska, beats FSU. Scroll down to the bottom real quick. Yeah, 9-3, and I think he's on the verge of the playoffs, but I think a nice bowl game, 9-3.
I got 8-4. I think he drops Florida, Ole Miss, Miami, and then one other game.
Yeah, I got 8-4 as well. Agree with that, and then Mason's got 10-2.
With this conference schedule, if he didn't schedule Florida and Ole Miss, he could make the playoffs.
And before we wrap up the stream, we can give title predictions. Who's going to make the championship game?
Title predictions.
This stuff.
Well, I don't even know now.
And we are back. We want to get an update.
Okay.
Charlotte's actually the last team.
Oh, okay. If I can
is.
just look through the schedule real quick. Ooh, this is not looking good.
Gets easier.
It just doesn't. I mean, 6-6 again, right? I don't know what everyone else said, but I mean 6-6. I think he wins against Dirt. I think he loses against Dirt actually, but I think Florida and Ole Miss get a cupcake, and Miami gets a cupcake as well.
And we can go back to the last two to let Joker get his USF and App State.
USF
I said
and App
10-2 for USF,
All right.
and then App State. I mean, I thought the game did not save all the games because we removed the Georgia Southern. I mean, 7-5, 8-4. Would I be surprised? No, not really. I'm gonna go 7-5.
And then for the title game, we have Mason going Georgia versus Ole Miss.
Yeah, Georgia versus Ole Miss. Okay. Well, I think the conference champions probably gonna be Oregon for the Big Ten.
Do it natty.
Miami
Just
for
do the
the
national
SEC.
championship. It is 2 a.m.
Okay, well, you know what? Screw you, Mason. You know what? Georgia missed playoffs. I'm going. I don't even know. Oregon versus Florida because it's fun, and then I'll go Oregon getting the championship back.
Did I go?
Yeah, you can
Did
go.
Yeah, you can go.
I'm gonna go with one of the No Excuse Club members. I will go with the Florida Gators making the championship, and I think they will be facing the Ole Miss. I think Florida and Ole Miss will duke it out, and I have Florida as the champion. Remember, he broke his foot, and the foot's healing, so I think that kind of helps him now, and there's no excuses even more. So, thank you.
Yeah.
We are going to be the only problem with Florida is we are going to see as the weather starts to warm up. It's about to be golf season again towards the end of the season. So I mean, will he be driven out to the course and away from the PlayStation in crunch time?
I don't know. I think the season will be over before it gets too warm for a lot of golf. I think getting off the foot injury. I think Florida does make the championship game. I think we are going to meet against Ole Miss. And I can't pick against myself. So,
Okay.
Florida.
I'm going Oregon, Ole Miss round 3. And I've got myself winning it.
Interesting. Did Mason give his?
He said UGA, Ole Miss. He didn't give a winner, but I'm assuming he's picking himself.
Okay. And I think we can wrap this up. I don't know if Mason can do it himself, but, well, I'll assume he cannot. And thank you, everyone, for... we will not sim as of now. We will wait. Everyone has to get through their recruiting boards, and please do not.
We're just going to sim to the end of the season here. We're just going to put these predictions in the light and see what happens.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for tuning in. Obviously a little bit late, so probably didn't get the live reactions from everyone, but everyone can watch this back probably on their way to work or while working and doing whatever. Thank you to everyone in the booth that helped us out tonight, and I believe we'll see you guys Wednesday for the Xfinity Series at Auto Club, and then the Cup Series Thursday.
Game of the week.
Or
yeah,
some Game of the
before.
Weeks. Some Week 0 games, I believe we'll probably look to sim on Tuesday or Wednesday. Not confirmed, but definitely got a lot of streams, NASCAR side, college football side with the season coming back. So thank you to Mason Pope for streaming, and we'll see you guys soon.